After almost 7 years, Pokemon Go is finally adding the Master Ball into the game. So you might be asking yourselves though, how can I actually get this Master Ball? Well, you can get it from the seasonal special research Let's Go. So the next part of this quest is going to unlock on May 22nd, and for those of you guys who actually haven't gotten this quest yet, you're going to have until June 1st to claim this special research, and it is free, so don't worry about it, but you have to claim this before June 1st because after that date passes, you won't be able to get this quest anymore, and even though it is a free research, that might be your last chance to actually get the Master Ball. Although I am going to say here that's probably unlikely. I do expect to see multiple Master Balls released in Pokemon Go, as not every single player is going to be active during this time, especially after everything that's recently happened in Pokemon Go. So I wouldn't worry about it too much because we probably are going to have more opportunities in the future, but this is the only one that we know of as of right now, so definitely don't pass it up if you can. Now for those of you who maybe just haven't played the main series games or are just unfamiliar with how the Master Ball works, a Master Ball is a Pokeball that has a 100% catch rate. So if this works anything like how it did in Pokemon Let's Go, when you use your Master Ball, even if you end up missing that throw, it'll still catch that Pokemon. So I wouldn't even hover over the Master Ball if you can, because the chances of you misclicking are kind of high in Pokemon Go, especially for a mobile game. You definitely don't want to misclick this, you don't want to drop the Pokeball, because odds are even if you drop that Master Ball, it's going to catch the Pokemon in front of you, and you really don't want to waste your Master Ball on a Pidgey. I mean, maybe some of you would, but I definitely don't. So now of course the question stands, what should you actually use your Master Ball on? So the first thing that comes to mind is going to be the Galarian birds from the Daily Adventure Incense. These things have a ridiculous catch rate. I mean, we're talking less than a 1% chance here to actually catch this Pokemon, and if you don't catch it on that first throw, it's basically just going to run away. I mean, it doesn't always run away, but the flee rate is extremely high, the catch rate is extremely low. I mean, using a Master Ball on one of these Galarian birds definitely makes sense. The second thing that I think you should potentially use your Master Ball on are going to be 100% IV legendary Pokemon from raids. Now specifically I want to mention here just the standard ones. I'm going to go over why you shouldn't actually use these on the shiny variants in just a little bit here. So when it comes down to 100% IV legendary Pokemon from raids, I know many of you guys probably aren't even going to know what the CP is supposed to be, and this is why I'm going to recommend following one of the infographic content creators on their respective social media. I usually follow most of them on Twitter. You can go to my follow and you'll see a bunch of content creators who make infographics. Just give one of them a follow who makes the raid infographics. I'm going to go ahead and give a quick shout out to the Pogo Hunter. I know that they make great infographics for each rotation, so definitely recommend giving them a follow if you want to stay up to date on basically anything that's supposed to be a hundo CP. Now keeping that in mind though, you shouldn't just use your Master Ball because you get the hundo. This should more or less be a last resort option because you're still probably going to have a ton of Premier Balls to use. So I would definitely recommend trying your luck, using the Golden Raspberry, Circle Lock method, Premier Balls, Curveball, Excellent Throw, do everything that you can to try and catch that hundo legendary. I would say when you're down to about 2 Premier Balls left, that should be when you break out that Master Ball and use it to catch that hundo legendary Pokemon if you really want it. If it's a hundo legendary that's not meta relevant like Suicune or something, obviously I don't recommend using your Master Ball because I mean, sure, the hundo legendary is cool, but I mean a hundo legendary Reshiram over a hundo legendary Suicune, there's a big difference there. So once again, just make sure to give it your best shot with those Premier Balls, but if you really can't catch it with the Premier Balls and Golden Raspberry and Excellent Throws, then break out that Master Ball. I don't believe the catch rates are going to change. I mean, there was nothing in the code that indicated that these catch rates are going to be more difficult now. But at the end of the day, guys, sometimes it just happens. RNG just works that way. So use that Master Ball as a last resort. Other than that, though, really try to save it as much as you can because you only get one. So those are basically my top 2 options when it comes down to Pokemon you should use your Master Ball on. Either hundo legendary Pokemon or the Galarian birds from the Daily Adventure Incense. Now, what should you not use your Master Ball on? So I mentioned this a little bit earlier, right? These shiny legendary Pokemon. Why should you not use your Master Ball on these Pokemon? Well, they actually have a guaranteed catch rate from raids, so you don't actually need to use your Master Ball or really anything special on these Pokemon. As long as you make contact with one of your Premier Balls, it's going to be 100% catch rate. Now in addition, I also recommend using Silver Pineapple Berries because it is a 100% catch rate, get that extra candy. Now of course, if you guys do end up getting a Shundo, I would actually consider using your Master Ball on that Shundo Pokemon, even though it is a guaranteed catch rate. Just for appearance's sake, every single time you use that Pokemon, you are going to see that Master Ball animation. So it's kind of nice. I think it's a really nice touch. Like, for example, if I got a Shundo Rayquaza, I mean, I would love to have that Pokemon in a Master Ball. That would just be so cool. I mean, an Ultra Ball would be cool as well, but obviously you can't use those from the raid battles. Either way though, guys, it's totally up to you at the end of the day. If you just want to hold on to your Master Ball as much as you possibly can, that's totally an option as well. But, you know, really try to use your Master Ball in something special. For me, I feel like that would be 100% Ivy Legendary Pokemon. Definitely a Shundo if I had that potential opportunity, you know, for a Legendary right there. Now, there is actually one more thing I would not use your Master Ball on, and this kind of goes against what I just said, but don't use it on 100% Ivy Legendary Pokemon that you encounter from Go Battle League, because these can actually never run away. So you can pretty much just keep encountering it until you eventually catch it. Assuming you don't run out of Pokeballs or something like that, you will eventually catch it. It cannot run away, guys. Anyways, though, I think that's basically it. I can't think of anything else that I would or wouldn't use my Master Ball on. If you guys can, definitely let me know in the comment section down below. But I think these are pretty much the main Pokemon, like the best Pokemon currently in Pokemon Go right now that make the most sense to use a Master Ball on. And once again, we have no idea if we're going to see the Master Ball again in Pokemon Go, so just make sure not to waste it. If we do see a Master Ball released again in Pokemon Go, it'll probably be through like a paid special research. As of right now, this is a free release, and Pokemon Go, or sorry, Niantic barely ever does this. Anyways though, that's basically everything that I have for you guys in this video. If you're still looking for some more content, I'm going to recommend these two videos right here. But before you go, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you all real soon in the next one.